Hello, everyone. Welcome to Meticulous Talks on November 30th. I'm Chris, of course.
Hey, Frog.
hmm Happy Thanksgiving to all of our American friends. For us, it's just a regular weekend. So,
Yep. Although I have a little advantage of working for the US company now, I guess.
fair enough.
90% of the company is out of office for the last 2 days, so I literally was not doing any work.
Well, gee, that's a pretty good deal then, I would say.
Yeah, I get both Canadian and US holidays.
Well, Thanksgiving is traditionally the start of the holiday season in the United States, and so it's only rational that we talk about the gifts that we're all getting this year. Or rather, the gifts that Sim is giving us.
Yeah,
In the form of 11 new cards. One of those is a gift that we're giving ourselves. Uh, that Applejack Troublemaker, I mean.
that is true. Well, in a way, that's also a sim gift because, they don't have to do that.
Fair
Design
enough.
a card, I mean.
Fair enough. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so a couple weeks ago, I think it was only a couple weeks ago, this was officially announced. Fourth edition injection of cards from Fry's Wheel. Uh, these images we're going to be showing today are sort of what Ponyhead says right now. There may be some, like, none of these are final yet. Things are still being made. Grandpa's is here. If there are any issues, I'm sure he will point them out. Make sure we're not saying anything that's properly wrong.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 12 cards is not a small amount, and some of them have quite a bit to be said about them. So let us uh, do that. So, yeah. Speaking of, probably the headliners of this new set. Two new main characters. One for blue, one for yellow. Uh, Here we have Shining Armor, Ford Commander, usual main character stuff. And then when an opponent plays a card, you get to plays a card. You may discard a card with the same card type. Turn this card over, start side. Boosted side, discard a card with power 4 or less. You choose Swift, Agile, or Competitive 2. This card doesn't have that ability, it gains that ability until the end of the turn. It is blue discard stuff. Not that we
Yeah.
haven't had blue discard stuff before, but never on a main.
I'm so sad we don't get to stack Agile.
That doesn't do anything, right?
Nope.
No.
And stacking Swift is also questionable.
Right.
So it's only competitive that is restricted, really. I mean, technically, multiple Swifts are relevant in some scenarios, but,
Mm-hmm. You can still you can still use that ability to discard the cards if there's no other abilities to gain, right?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
nothing happens. I don't know if you would want to. Like,
Um
unless,
yeah.
unless you really want to get cards into your discard pile, but in a blue deck. Especially, you know, this main kind of incentivizes you to not do that actually, because
Yeah,
you better save them.
to do something useful with them later, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really nifty, cool main. Opens up lots of interesting play lines. Yeah, Grandpa's brings up training Gallus, the one that gets a counter every time you discard a card. And yeah, there are other similar stuff in blue already that either has ability to create discards. Yeah, you also mentioned purple cards that can be played from the discard pile. Or sorry, well, or ability that activates when the card goes to the discard pile. But yeah,
Daybreaker.
yeah, that Daybreaker, pretty big one. The one that gets you AT when you discard cards. Once per turn. Yeah, like blue purple has kind of seemed like the appropriate place to be for this main, at least at first, mostly because of that Daybreaker. But it's pretty good.
I mean, to be honest, I think honestly, maybe this main could be generic enough to even like maybe you don't even have any other discard synergy, right? And it might be good enough. Although, like for Swift Agile combo, you need 2 cards, which is a lot of cards.
Right. Like
But
you'd need to either you'd need to
yeah,
have a source
like
of card draw somewhere, which like you realistically means you either pair with pink or yellow to get eager something.
yeah,
Um,
like I think in the pink deck or a yellow deck, yeah, without any other discard synergy, it could work simply because you have the extra draws to support it. I've already tried this in the mono blue aggro. Yeah, that's fair. So I like this effect because of that. It's like it doesn't force you to play with discard synergies.
yeah, and for what it's worth, we're gonna see her coming up in a couple of cards. Blue is getting draw support in this very set
Mm-hmm.
to help with if you want to go mono blue or indeed this with any color realistically.
Yeah. The power restriction is there, I presume, for message from the past and to not like to disable farm.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah, message from the past is the pretty obvious one that comes to mind.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Can't be making it too easy for everyone.
I do wonder what this card looks like without the power restriction. I guess you just play farm with message.
Seems likely, yeah.
Although, like, even with message, like, if you get competitive too, right, for free, which is fine for farm, that's like 5 power. That's not that much better than Yuna.
Hmm.
Like, Yuna gives you an average extra 2 power.
GP is mentioning that you would go aggro in that scenario.
Oh, yeah, and you play with Daybreaker and get AT for free every turn. Well, I mean, yeah, it's fine. 2 AT per turn cycle. That's like having 2 cover to covers.
If you only have one Daybreaker out.
Yes. I'm sure it's fine. Is what's the name of the card? Follow my lead. 5 power? I thought it was 4.
It is. Yeah, I don't
It
think
is 4.
it is 4. So in adventure you have that. Yes.
Yeah. But you don't get AT on both of players' turns. You get like trust it's not fine. Never. It's always fine. Yeah, like formal lead requires you to move, and this card is like if even if you're moving with Swift, you're not gaining AT from that anymore.
Yeah.
Like message from the past is just free forever. I actually noticed that I think this card like works with Pinky Sense because it doesn't say if you do, it's just you discard a card.
Right.
So
Well,
it's not like
it is a cost.
oh yeah, it is a cost. It's to choose, so you can't
Yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. So blue is not in. I want to make sure it's been a little while since I last paid attention to the meta. It's not doing super hot right now, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So could use a nice infusion, and this is certainly going to give it a place to go.
Yeah. Like the best blue thing we have right now is the cadence, and then the blue is secondary there.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't see blue a lot recently. Be nice to see more blue. Also, I can't believe you haven't pointed it out yet, but it's an aggro card, and it's a unicorn.
Oh. And that's. I mean, sure, maybe. It's not what I meant most of the time.
Look.
Although, honestly, right? If we've all been talking about blue purple and the unicorns over in purple. Hey, like actually, now that I'm starting to talk to myself into this. Hey, if it happens, maybe that would be great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really easy to talk you into unicorn aggro. Every time there's a hint of it.
It's been
Something like
so close, so many times. We just needed ourselves a blue unicorn.
Hmm. All right.
All right. So the other main is over in yellow. Both of these are kind of aggro pushing a little bit. Been a fairly control oriented meta lately, so it makes sense. Over in yellow, cheese sandwich. Yeah, 1-3 Earth Pony. The end of your turn, if you played a friend and an event this turn, turn this card over. Then on the boosted side, when you play an event, put a 3-power colorless unique your friend token named Boneless into play. While this card is with one of your friends named Boneless, this card has power. So, yellow aggro deck. I mean, certainly, I see much else there. Well,
Farm.
farm, yeah. I mean, that's an 8-power set, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, fair enough. But you want to be consistently playing events.
Or friends.
Uh, well, I mean,
Oh no, never mind. It's
yes,
just yeah.
yeah. I
I
mean,
was reading the boosted side.
yeah, you do.
The start side.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're playing an Iowa deck, you're gonna have friends in there. But yeah, you want to be able to reasonably reliably play an event. Yeah, I mean, certainly most turns. That's you get your most value out of being able to effectively move Boneless for free.
Yeah, you only need to play event if you want to move boneless. That's the only thing. Like, as long as you don't need to move boneless, you don't need to keep playing events.
Well, I mean, I assume we're playing an aggro deck, we're doing DFO, stuff's at home.
I'm playing a farm deck. Boneless
Well,
is not moving, and neither
okay,
do I.
sure. If you're playing a farm deck, fair enough. The rules go out the window because they always do for farm.
Although, like, villains are, I guess,
Well,
a
yeah, if you're playing a farm
consideration.
deck, yeah, you want more critter friend tokens then. A second to actually try not to drop the stream here. and see if I can find the yellow events in question. There's better archive.
There's a lot of good yellow events. Also, colorless events work as well.
I suppose that's true, isn't it? Yeah. Core.
Scary story comes to
Yeah.
comes to mind.
There it is.
Full name drop.
Yeah, that's a good one. Particularly cheap events. So, yeah. Valiant speech. Name drop. Oh. Toy Story. Yeah. Ella's got a good number of pretty cheap ones.
Cockatrice Migration is really good.
Migration, adoption options. Okay. I mean, yeah, there's some. There's enough. Put 3, 4, 5 in there. And sorry, 3, 4, 5 of them, triple copies, something like that. You have a pretty good number of them to work with.
Yeah. Prismine mentions a message for the boneless, which makes sense.
Yeah, actually.
You need 2AT.
Well, see, like so it's 2AT. As long as you're getting value out of the magic counter too, then it's good, right?
Yeah, if you don't get the magic counter, then you might as well just move the token unless you don't have it.
Yeah, like the trick is that you're getting whatever the event is doing, and the token for free. If you're getting value out of both of them, then it's really good.
Yeah.
Um,
You could in theory also do confront tricks with this, where you play an event to like recreate boneless somewhere else. I really like the design here. It's like there's boneless and it's only like one boneless. You only get one.
Sure.
It's like the only one boneless.
It is.
It's like having a second mini main, you know?
That's an interesting way of putting it, but yeah, that's very accurate.
With a supportive.
Yeah, it's kind of a nifty design when you think about it that way.
You know, we should just add supportive on the token instead of giving +2, like having +2 on the cheese sandwich, so that the first text is even more mouthful. Like instead of free power colorless unique creator friend token named boneless, you get free power colorless unique creator friend token with supportive named boneless. Supportive too.
Yeah. See, well, so the thing is, I'm trying to think. They will need. They already will need to like provide a new token template, right?
Yeah.
You can't use the generic template because this one is unique.
You can use the dragon.
Mm,
Oh, I guess it's not ally, so no, you can't use that one.
and it has unique as well.
Yeah, but the dragon token is not actually dragon, right? It's the trait there is blank.
Okay, all right, yeah. So I guess you could use that one, and they couldn't if they put the supportive on the token. So that's why
Yeah.
they're not doing it that way.
Well, it also would need to be yellow because supportive needs color.
It does. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair. Supportive should have been one of those template abilities where it can sort of you put the color in the text, right? That would have been a much more interesting ability. Somewhat.
Like supportive yellow?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. We have Unity that's kind of like that.
Yeah. I mean that's
Not effect wise, but like it also takes color as an argument.
Anyway, yellow
Anyway.
also a color in need of a little bit of help, which is something we haven't said in a very long time.
Do you think cheese replaces Hitch in yellow aggro?
I I think it's too early to say that. Like like what even is Hitch's identity? We've only known him for half a year.
I mean, I'm just saying for yellow aggro.
Like they
Which,
do different things, certainly. Um
okay, but like eventually all decks
sure
or an archetype converge to a particular main,
right. So
despite alternative options being available.
well, okay, like there's a couple questions you could be asking, right? Like it could be which of the mains is best for yellow aggro, right? Which I think is what you're asking.
Okay, what else could I be asking?
Well, like if there's if we're gonna be in a meta where there is no niche whatsoever for either of them, right? Like we could be in a world where there's the the best yellow aggro deck using cheese, but then there's some sort of niche weirder variety using hitch that uses a completely different draw deck and is like maybe tier 2-ish, right? That is not which one is the better for aggro, because now there's a couple different aggro decks that play differently, but one of them's better than the other one. Anyway, point of the matter, the question I'm pretty sure you're asking, I think cheese is the better one, yes.
Fair enough.
I think as we found out, yeah, there's enough good events to like events that are basically played in yellow aggro already. That yeah, you could throw this in there. You'd have a reasonable supply of disruption. You'd have a reasonable supply of help for your aggro. Yellow's already got the eager stuff in there. Yeah, this seems pretty good.
Okay.
Okay. Through the mains, we come to the friends. First, the card I mentioned earlier as being kind of the hand-in-hand helper, Shining Armor, Gabby. Book postage. Cost 2, 2 rec, 2 blue power, Griffin. At the end of a player's turn, not just yours, you may exhaust this card and discard all the cards in your hand to draw 4 cards. Kinda like Pink Gabby, but
Yeah,
with the
Gabby
discard.
kind of just likes you to have 4 cards in hand. Specifically 4.
It's a nice number.
It's like half.
Yeah. Good a number of options without having too much thinking to do.
Sure.
Not that this card decreases the amount of thinking in your deck. Oh boy.
Well, I think the intention behind this card. Okay. The way I see this card, it's the pink Gabby, except just like changed up enough to be different.
Sure. Yeah. Certainly, most of the time, you're going to be using it in a situation where your hand's already empty or has 1 card in it, and it's a no-brainer that you're going to use it, draw back up to 4.
Yeah, like the difference between this and pink Gabby is that you don't get to keep whatever you had left.
Yeah. Well, so there's the edge cases where you've got 2 or 3 cards in hand, but they're pretty bad cards, and you're thinking, what's the nominal value of 4 random cards from my deck versus what's currently in my hand? Those ones are the ones that made me pause and think for a second. Certainly, especially if you're playing a deck like we saw, like with Gallus or whatever, that like those 3 discards, 2 or 3 discards, are actually really good.
Yeah. I think for aggro in general, though, you usually care a little less about what particular cards you have in your hand.
Hmm.
Sometimes you do, but that's relatively. I think aggro is the least.
If you
The
have,
archetype that cares the least about that.
sure, yeah. If you have multiple copies of this card, you can mill yourself real fast too. Uh, you can activate it on both players' turns.
Yeah, Neuroctorate meta.
I don't know.
Play Gabis.
Now that Roctorate is a thing. Always have to think now.
It works really well with Pinky Sense.
Yes.
With Pinky Sense, you do essentially get the Pink Gabby.
Well, yeah. I mean, even better, you do get to discard some cards if you want to.
Yeah, yeah. You choose what you keep essentially, which is very
Mhm.
nice.
Mhm.
GP mentions milling yourself with Shining and finishing up with why can't you Pinky Sense? Oh, it's a cost. Discarding everything is a cost. Ah, they thought of everything.
That miserable word too.
Yeah. Can we replace two with and? It'd be so much better.
Search and replace over the OCR. Do with and.
It's fine. You just use Shining like however many times you need. Oh no, that's a cost there too. Ah, I guess we just exhaust Pinky Sense to keep one card.
Hmm.
Terrible. Okay, anyway. GP mentions that it's also a good option for Shining that isn't purple. You can run blue pink and maybe finish with Steel Parting, and yeah, it's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a reasonable point. You'd be blue main. You're gonna have to be careful about your Unity 15 pink, but if you can find a way to do it.
Yeah, you also run that other Gabby, the pink blue one.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
It's just Gabby the deck. We
Great.
need to ban Steel Parting and reprint her as Gabby.
I mean, if we end up in a situation in the future where yeah, like that becomes Gabby's sort of metagame identity, just cards that mill you real fast. That might be kind of yeah. Well, be okay with that.
Do you think there's enough screen caps of Gabby? It's surprising how many cards of her we have. She like appears twice in the show.
Is a little surprising. She was fairly present, at least, in those
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah. I think it's a little more than twice, but yeah.
All right.
All right. Next card.
Next card, we go to orange. Brayburn. Well, it's a little while since we last had a Brayburn card, isn't it?
I mean, it's the same situation as Gavi, like also just
Right.
like 2 episodes of Brayburn.
Fair enough, yeah. One cost, one power, two requirement, Earth Pony. This card can't be frightened. Counters are not removed from your friends as they become frightened or turn face down. And you pay one less to rally friends, at least one counter on them. Now I know Sim are smart about this. I assume they wrote it this way for a reason. Like this works, even though like the modifier stays on stuff as they transition into new cards and they become frightened, right?
Well, it specifically overrides that, right? Like the card takes precedence over the comprehensive rules.
Right, but like it does like the friend that gets frightened still becomes a new card, regardless. But
Yes.
the modifier kicks onto it before anything can happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Brabern does not say anything about stuff other than counters, so.
Okay. Yeah. I see. Right. Okay, yeah. So we're just okay. Fair enough. Yeah, GP has it there in the rules chat, that specific part of it that we're talking about. So and like I said, obviously Sim knows the rules and going to design a card that works properly. So yeah. So realistically, this means +1 power counters and magic counters, although there are other counter types around too. But bear that as well. If your stuff is getting frightened, I'm assuming you're probably playing villains,
Or you're playing against blue.
or you're playing against blue. Um, you do so. Okay, let's think about this for a minute. Da-da-da-da. It's not a local effect; it's global. So just in play, probably sitting at your home. You still don't like. The villain flips up, all your stuff gets frightened. It's still gone in the face-off.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't think this is a farm card in the slightest. It
Yeah. Okay.
affects friends. Like,
Yeah.
who cares about friends?
So it's just a defense against blue, then, basically.
Yeah, like, it seems like a very sideboard specific card that is like an anti-Friar tool. Because I don't think Orange actually has a lot of global anti-Frighten tools right now, right? It also helps with persistent. So there's that as well.
That's fair. Yeah. Oh yeah, GP points out Unity 15 AJ. She's anti-frightened global. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah. As a particular sideboard against frightened decks, that makes sense. Nice, small, low investment. Bit of a silver bullet kind of. Well, not really, but help kind of card.
Yeah. I don't know if this card is designed to like fix anything in particular in Orange.
Well, it can fix Orange not being so big in the meta. But not, yeah.
Well, no, it makes it bigger. You keep the counters.
I know. I mean, actually, like, I had, after we did the new generation review, right? Orange was one of those colors that didn't do have a whole lot of magic stuff going on, right? So I like having cards that, presuming that at some point down the line, Orange gets some really great magic counter synergy. Presumably, it wants to spread the love around. It's good to have a card that will help with that.
Yeah.
And Prism Light also points out it's a good help along for Sunny Main, which is true. Fair enough. And yeah, just has the one trait. Does make sense.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, so not a extremely impressive friend, but one to keep in mind if everything starts getting scary. Which, to be fair, there was some amount of stuff getting frightened in the current meta.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. All right, nice card.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
I actually want to hear. Well, I just want to hear how do you think this card will be used after you read it.
I've okay. I mean, yeah, read it for the. I've read it. So Mod Pi, Croaky Bond, 4 cost, 3 white requirement, 4 white power. Earth Pony Friend. While this card is in your discard pile, cards with names other than this one can't leave your discard pile. As this card leaves your discard pile, you may pay 1 to put a friend from a player's discard pile into play under your control. If you do, banish this card instead of putting it anywhere else. Now, this is a bit embarrassing because I wrote that whole article about as triggers. Sorry, as not a triggers. While you're doing as stuff, is this card still in your discard pile?
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Well, because as happens before the thing has happened, the triggering effect has happened. Yeah. So as this card leaves your discard pile, if we're working with that text, because as stuff happens not in PPP, right? It happens.
Oh no, yeah, it happens when it happens.
Yeah. So
it's a complicated question, where exactly the card is. It's actually completely undefined in the rules at the moment. It's defined. Well, it's defined ish for entering play, but it's not defined for any other zone.
Yeah.
But you can't yeah, like GP says, the question is irrelevant for this card alone.
Is it?
Are you concerned that you will not be able to pay 1, that the effect doesn't work?
Well, I mean, yeah, that was my first thought.
Okay, the effect does work.
Fair enough.
Okay. You can pay 1 to put something from discard pile into play, even though, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Sure.
Because if GP, because if Mod Pi is still in your discard pile at that point, she prevents other cards from leaving discard pile. That's Cursed's concern.
Anyway, if that works, fine, great. That's what I was thinking about. So clearly, she is protection for your own discard pile against effects like Counter Logic. That's the one that springs to mind right away. And that is likely to remain relevant for a significant portion of time. In order for the card to leave your discard pile, there are a number of ways to get cards to leave discard piles. There's reanimation, there's shuffling stuff into the deck, there's banishing stuff. There are a number of ways to do it. I think most of those ways are fairly expensive. Well, shuffling your discard pile into your deck's not very expensive.
There's one way that is completely free.
I'm blanking on it.
It's the easy main.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Is that what you were intimating to me?
Oh no, I just want just continue thinking about the card.
Okay. I mean that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I mean with Izumane you pop it back in. They pay 1 to essentially do a pip. Then yeah, it's somewhere at the top of your deck. Discard it again. Do it again. I mean that seems honestly pretty fair. Now the
Well,
question.
it's not. No, let me just stop you. You banish mod by,
Oh,
so
you
you don't
banish it.
get.
That's right. Yeah. No recycling. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, that'd be probably a little bit ridiculous. Um, okay. Next question. Of course. Yeah. Are we? Yeah. I said do a pip steal the opponent stuff. We can also use it to do one AT reanimator shenanigans, uh, which is also pretty darn reasonable. Uh, Probably better most of the time. Now that I think about it. Um, So, yeah, I guess I've talked myself into Easy Reanimator with this.
Okay.
And GP mentions Earth Funny Crystal as well, which that also works. Okay, now did I get it? Did I get it right?
Well, there's no right or wrong. I just wanted to hear your opinion.
Sure.
uh, there is some discussion, as far as I'm aware. I don't know what the result of the discussion was, but there was some discussion about maybe 180 for reanimator ability is kind of really cheap.
Yeah.
Only works with easy, but like you're playing easy, you're not playing anything else.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you do have to do a little bit of work, and it's not as if I mean, Izzy's thing is main phase activate ability, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the opponent has got an immediate window to banish this themselves. No, that doesn't work. Okay. That does not work. That is terrible. Okay.
No, if they banish it, I pay one to get something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That does not work.
You you also don't really want to have two of them in your discard pile. It's kind of bad.
Yeah.
You're forced to take the other one out.
Hmm.
Which I mean, you could still like when you do that one, you also pay one, and then
Oh.
it works. But like,
Yeah. Hmm.
it's you're wasting like one of them essentially.
Yeah. So all you can really do is stop it from ever getting to the discard pile, which means banish it. Which is
Well, banish it from their hand presumably,
yeah. Well,
because
from
I'm
hand.
I'm never I'm never
Well,
playing this card.
yeah, you're never playing it. Banish it from hand or from. No, there's no real way to do it from deck.
Test in your drain.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of counterplay that comes to mind right away.
Oh yeah, you could grab an opponent's thing. That's right. That's how you don't waste one of the mod effects when you have two of them.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Seems pretty good. Seems destined to be another white card that gets run in decks, not because you ever intend to play it, but for other things.
I wonder if non-reanimator runs this. Maybe it does.
Like the function of protecting your discard pile from being used by your opponent. Relevant to today's game, but not super.
Yeah, but if you're playing white, I think you're playing counter logic yourself.
Yeah.
Although you could choose mod plus two things in the opponent's discard pile. That is an option.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, yeah, as mentioned, if you're not filling up your own discard pile with a bunch of stuff, then you're using this to do more pip stuff, which, as we know, sometimes works, but the opponent's discard pile is not always full of stuff you actually want.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's Spike. Please discard Spike.
I hear people are doing that less often now.
Please discard Spike.
Okay, next card.
Yep.
Okay, and that's all the friends. Just a blue, a orange and a white one.
Mm-hmm.
A colorless event. Blank flanks forever. Cost 3, 6 power. At main phase, choose one. Put a token copy of a friend with cost 2 or less into play. Put a token copy of a resource with cost 2 or less into play. Or copy the effects of the last event with cost 2 or less you played this turn. So it's an extra copy of a card in your deck, unless it's a troublemaker. Can't be an extra copy of a troublemaker, but it can be an extra copy of anything else that costs 2 or less.
Maybe it should be an extra copy of a troublemaker. Like, after all, why not? Why couldn't it copy troublemakers?
Yeah, in theory, I guess. That extra copy is going to cost more than the thing that it's copying, unless you do some cost reduction shenanigans on this. Which, not like there's any shortage of that around. And is a song. Fair point. I don't know why I missed that the first time I read it. So all the song synergy stuff is actually pretty good here. Because yeah, if you're choosing multiple points, then you're making this card real good. Right, you have multiple targets to work with.
All one card that interacts with songs. In core, at least.
That's a shame. Still, that's Twirly Twy.
Yeah, it's twirling tunes. Which lets you choose 2 instead of 1.
Yeah.
Wait, we have 2 cards? It's the second one.
He mentioned Octavia.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Octavia that should exhaust. I forgot about her. I was thinking of twirling tunes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Yeah, so this seems to me like one of those cards that like baseline is okay, but like if you can find a way to, do the twirling tunes thing or do some nifty cost reductions or whatever, right? A little bit of synergy would push this over into being totally worth putting in a deck. That's what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. On the surface is just the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I think the like copying resources, copying events, copying friends, we've seen that before. Copying events we've also seen before, but like it's much harder to do usually, right?
Yeah, pretty much only purple was doing it before.
Yes, we had Headmare Twilight, we had the Starlight that's banned now, and we had the Corkboard.
Mm-hmm.
Corkboard. So
Now everybody can do it, albeit fairly expensively and only in a limited way.
yeah.
It does apply to every song, though, right? Every song, well, except for this one. Interesting.
Yeah. Does twirling tunes work when you copy a song? I don't think it does.
Yeah, I think it's probably only when you play a song.
Oh no, it says if you choose one effect. Okay.
Okay. It would work.
What about Spike?
I forget what Spike's text is exactly.
Same one, except it's choose each effect. Twirling tunes is just a reprint of Spike. With like one word changed.
Okay, so yeah, GP says it's if you choose one effect when you play a song. So yeah. No
Oh yeah,
synergy
while playing a song card. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, copying songs does not work with that.
with that.
So yeah, I think being able to copy song with this in that case doesn't really. It's not really special. Like it's just okay. But yeah, it's an interesting card.
Yeah, nice.
It's a
Sorry, go on.
it's a card that makes me think something could be broken, but it's probably not. There's another card that makes me think something could be broken, and that has a way higher chance of things being broken. Actually,
Fair enough. I assume we're getting there.
yeah,
Prism and Light asks, this copy opposing stuff? Friends and resources, I'm pretty sure.
yes, it just says a friend and a resource.
Yeah.
But that's like nothing really new. Well, friends are maybe not new, but for like resources, Stygian was always being able to do that.
Yeah. Well, only in white, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cost,
Maybe you run this to copy storefront again. Not storefront. Is it storefront? The white resource that gives you AT.
Yeah, that's storefront.
Yeah.
Does mean that everybody can have counter logic in their deck. I don't even care about running get prepared. I'm just gonna copy yours.
Yeah, well, only if they're running theirs.
Yeah.
So the answer to counter logic is more counter logic.
As we know, yes.
And yeah, and as we know, more counter logic makes the game go much faster.
Makes it so much more fun. Yes. Granted, more fun and faster are not mutually exclusive. Okay.
Right, next card.
Next card. Another generic event. Premonition. Cost 2. 2 power. Main phase. Choose your friend or resource with cost 2 or less. End of the turn. Dismiss that friend or resource. Generic removal. Interesting.
Yeah. It's very restricted though. But most resources cost 2 or less.
Most of the big important ones. Yeah.
Counter logic costs 2 or less.
Mm-hmm.
And like I think for most decks this card is better than Winterzilla. Winterzilla is not restricted resource removal, but also still costs 2 and is delayed.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And is a troublemaker that might give a point to the opponent.
Yeah. So I think. Well, let's see. What resources that don't cost 2? I'm thinking like in terms of resource removal. Like friend removal was also nice.
Sure.
But you know.
Yeah. So like Desert Road was the first one that came into my mind. That's not even in core anymore.
Let's see. Okay, there's not a lot of them. There's like Treehouse, which is okay, fair enough.
Does Corkboard cost 3?
Huh?
What does
Yes.
Corkboard cost? Yeah, okay, so there's
Corkboard. And anyway, I don't think like all of these resources are kind of like, yeah, you kind of want to get rid of them, but they're not what most people play. It's Treehouse +1, Mind +1 is fine. Mind Cage, Unicorn Traps, and the Cork board. So like, yeah, you do want to get rid of all of these, but most decks will not be running them. It's only like a specific deck. So I think you just don't run Winterzilla. No, just missing Pep. No.
It may be this gets used a lot for that. Maybe.
I like my Pip. It's a good Pip.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, you can't give generic removal that's too unrestricted out, but because it would just be too good, everyone would play it. And need to have some amount of color identity still remaining in the game. But yeah, having that be a nice 2 costs or less. Still a lot of good targets in there. And it being time delayed, so it's not like immediate disruption or anything. It is a pick a thing and it's gone at the end of the turn.
Yeah, and it's very versatile as well.
Mm-hmm. You can dismiss your own stuff with it if you want. I don't know if there's anything immediate that pops into my mind, but always good to keep in mind the stuff that can dismiss your own stuff.
Yeah.
Either way, though, I mean, yeah, it's just like the last one, just a nice, simple, straightforward, relatively restrictive, good like utility card to have around.
Yeah. I think a lot of decks will run this again because it's just better Winterzilla that is like does more, costs the same. Like I think, well, maybe not on my pip deck because like Winterzilla is a troublemaker, which means posy points.
Yeah. I would probably run this, or would have run this, and this is going to sound weird, but in my yellow pink deck, probably. Because yellow somehow is short on resource removal nowadays.
Yeah, I can see that. All right.
All right. Pink event.
Ah, yes. The card.
The card. Twos, terrible twos, which is weird because the twos were all on the last card we looked at. But anyway, 3 cost.
Were you waiting for that? Like, I'm just
No,
like, did you come up with that with making slides?
No, I came up with that like 10 seconds ago, actually.
Okay.
3 cost, 3 pink, requirement 3 power. Chaotic event. While this card is flipped, your friend's triggered abilities trigger an additional time. And at immediate speed, choose a triggered ability of one of your friends and copy that ability as though its trigger condition was met. So, a lot of stuff going on here. Handy dandy reminder text about the whens and the ats. Ases don't count. There. So you've spent a little bit more time being actively involved with playtesting and such.
That's an overstatement to be sure, but
More than me.
I maybe. But I did think about this card a little bit.
Okay. Care to share those thoughts?
Well, do you not even want to guess? Like, do you want
to? Listen, it's complicated. I don't know that I want to be, just kind of making noise here. It's not gonna get us anywhere useful.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. So first of all, Grandpa's points out in the chat that the chaos ability is not gonna be a thing. So let's just.
I am really sad about the chaos ability not being a thing because it's a free mirror pool. That's all I always wanted. For reasons. But why do you think it specifically targets non-chaos abilities now? There's like there's 2 reasons.
Okay, so yeah, that seems weird. First of all, that you can, because yeah, you could have triggered chaotic abilities outside of face-offs before, and that sounds like just a generally bad idea.
That's the reason number 1. A lot of chaos abilities are really weird outside of face-offs. Like, you do a thing until the end of the face-off. What face-off?
Yeah. I assume that's not.
That's one of the 2 reasons.
That's one of the 2, but it's not the one that you're trying to get at. Because that one's
Second
fairly.
reason involves a particular pony.
Yeah.
Some might even say the best pony.
Okay. Some sort of. Wait. Trixie thing, right?
There's only one Trixie with a Chaos ability.
Hey! Yeah, I was wondering if we were talking about Paper Trixie for a very brief second there.
There's no Pip with Chaos abilities.
Okay. Oh, so it is a chaos thing.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Right. That's the thing that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to think. In core, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, I'll just read you the ability.
Go ahead, please. I'm not in the right frame of
Trixie
mind today.
is this your card? Chaos. When this card is flipped, you would ignore that with this card. You may put it into your hand to put a card from your hand into your flip zone. So you just have a card in your flip zone now.
Ah, sure. That's bad, but doesn't break anything.
Well, you see, there's a bunch of chaos abilities that say while this card is flipped.
Oh yeah, like this one. Well,
I
no, it
put
still had one.
well, yeah. Well, this is not. Yeah, I put Scootaloo. Players can't score points anymore.
Right.
Isn't as long as there's no more face-offs. It's
As
great.
long as there's no more face-offs, yeah. Because if there is a face-off, the flip cards go away, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Although you could do things with that as well, but yes.
Yeah. That is. Yeah. Fair enough.
So chaos abilities are off the table. I scrolled. So there's several ways to think about this card. First way to think about this card is that it's a portal card, right? That's just a worse portal. It
Sure.
can trigger your enters play ability, so it's
Mhm.
the same as portal in that sense. So all of the cards that say when this card enters play are not really interesting with this card because again, it's just a portal. Portal already does that.
Well, you can
So
copy the when you plays though.
you can copy when you play. Yes, there's a lot of good ones out there. I have a combo deck in mind,
Of course you do.
ish, that is actually fully core legal. Uh, with the particular when you play, like this card lets us do something that we were not able to do that before, with the way timings worked. But there's a bunch of other good also when you play. Like you can copy easy, get something for free.
Hmm. Yep.
But looking at all of the other effects, I couldn't find anything too egregious other than the one thing that I found. So maybe this card is actually fine. Who knows? It's one of those cards that are, they're dancing there.
Right. It's a card that we have to be. I say as if I'm designing cards. The people who design cards have to be very careful about in the future.
Yeah. It makes some sense and tingle, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the combo that I found is actually inspired by your thing, which is, remember the good old Fluttergust mill where you were using Starlight?
Oh, that thing. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, that's not good
So
old. That was like last year. Anyway,
it was this year
it was this
because
year.
it's
Yeah.
because it's from New Generations. It's good old. So there's this event, full name drop, right? That sets the power to 1.
Mhm.
So you could use that. You can use it on your own things. But the way before this event here, there was no way to stop trigger of Fluttergust, right?
Yeah.
Like when you play Fluttergust, there's no opportunity for you to set its power to 1.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. And I really looked. I looked hard. There was no way to do that.
I look too. Yeah.
But with this card, there's a way to do that now. You play Fluttergust, you set the power to 1, and then you play this event. And then you mill your opponent as long as they don't. Oh, mixed messages, yeah.
Ah.
And you mill your opponent as long as they don't have 1 power cards. Which most, well, yeah, I think most decks don't have 1 power cards.
Most non-white decks.
Yes, white decks have pip. And yellow decks have, well, there's the featherweight for pink.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pipsqueak, or the other way around, featherweight for yellow and pipsqueak for pink. So those are 1 power cards.
No, featherweight's 2.
Is featherweight 2?
He is.
Oh, okay. So I don't think that yellow runs any 1 power cards, does it?
Does it not? Oh yeah, that's gone.
Yeah, bunnies are not a thing anymore. So I think there's potential. I think there's potential there. And it's only 3
Antoine
cards.
is one. I was thinking of Antoine. Yeah, okay.
Antoine. And it's only 3 cards to do. Like, you only need 3 cards. You need Fluttergust, this card, and mixed messages. I wish we could use Scary Story on our own friends. Then this would be even easier. But there's no way. And there's also no way to like put a -1 counter or anything, because like setting the power overrides that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so there's no way to bring the card to 0, unfortunately. So maybe it's actually fine. We'll see.
We'll see. I think, as I sort of know, because I was the guy who did, I think it's a cool interaction. Yeah. Cool with that. Sounds nifty. And in general, yeah, expect all kinds of shenanigans, I assume. Like, maybe not terrible shenanigans, but stuff from this card existing.
Yeah. The like the way I saw it used in playtesting decks is in Reanimator to trigger stuff like your Royal Family.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's just the next, yeah.
Big, powerful triggered effects. Yeah, sure.
Anyway, we'll break this card. There's a way.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. Here I was thinking of stuff like, oh, I can just like score a point by triggering, like copying some point scoring ability.
I think we also looked at all of the point scoring stuff. Oh yeah, and also another clarification. So I'm actually arguing that it should say not copy the ability as though the trigger condition was met. It should just say trigger that ability as though trigger condition was met. That would make it clearer that the source of the trigger is still the friend.
Okay, I think GP just said that is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Because copying is like, okay, if the copy of the ability says retire this card, what does that mean? What card? But trigger is fairly clear, I think. Anyway.
Okay.
Technically, with the word trigger, you don't even have to say as if trigger condition was meant, because the fact that the triggers is already past any trigger conditions, that's why they're trigger. But it could be confusing that, like, oh, maybe it doesn't trigger if the condition is not met, you know?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah.
We've got space on the card for clarification. We can use it.
Yeah.
Cool card.
I want us to keep the chaos. I like the chaos. I want it. It also makes my senses tingle.
It does.
Like, I can have it in my flip zone and do stuff. Some maybe funny stuff. Either way.
Moving on. Hey, resources. Orange. I think, yeah, ultimately, I think every color is getting 1 card out of this set, right? Well, some are getting mains, but everyone's getting 1 non-main card.
Yeah.
Orange. Poison joke. Costing 1. 3 requirement, 4 power. Goes on a friend or boosted main character. And at immediate speed, you exhaust it to take away abilities. And when this card readies, you may reattach it to another character. PP points out I was wrong. Yellow does not get any. Except a main. There. Is it weird that this is the first card named Poison Joke? Interplay just somehow never found a way to get that in there?
Yeah. Really, it should have been exhaust this card, read all of the abilities of that card in reverse.
So I think, like, on the face of it, this seems like another relatively straightforward disruption tool. 1 cost, put on something over on the other side, take away their abilities. If they play something scarier, put it over there. Yeah, just pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird bit that kind of struck me. This supplement seems to be filled with cards that are either really straightforward or else really, really complicated. Anyway.
I think this is primarily a replacement for Limestone. Was it Limestone? Yeah, it was Limestone.
Well, you're talking about the 4 cost one, right?
Yeah, the one that it's from Defenders. You
Yeah.
exhaust to remove abilities.
Yeah. Not quite a replacement, given that it's a 1 cost resource and not a 4 cost 4 power friend, but
Yeah, but like the idea is the same. You
serves the same
exhaust
basic
it
idea.
to
Yes.
remove the ability. It's a little more proactive, because you have to attach it first to whatever you want to disable, and you have to decide that when you ready the card, instead of Limestone, where you can you just choose it when you use it. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same effect. It's a friend or a boosted main character, and
Yep. And so, yeah, it being cheaper means, yeah, it's much easier for orange cards to make use of it. Or, sorry, orange decks. Ugh.
It is cheaper, but one might argue that it is more fragile. If they retire a friend with this card, it's gone. If they unboost their main character, it's gone. If they frighten the friend that it is on, it's gone. Like,
Fair enough. Yeah, the unboost is a... That's interesting. Yeah.
there's a lot of ways for this card to be gone. But to be fair, Limestone is also like dice to removal.
Well, I mean, yeah, as friends do.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little bit more, this being an attachment card. That's fair. That's fair. Which, we're going from 4 cost to 1, so it's reasonable to put some amount of extra fragility in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems like a nice piece of disruption for Orange to have access to.
Yeah. I think it's fine.
Boosted main. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones out there to play stuff on.
Seleno.
Yes.
I mean, Pip is one of them.
Pip.
Pip.
Yeah.
Easy.
Izzy. Chrysalis, actually. They too. And never have to worry about her tax ever again.
Yeah.
Even stop her from flipping back over so they don't get the second chance AT. Or whatever a card's called.
Well, I don't know if stopping Chrysalis from flipping back over is necessarily a good thing for you.
Well,
The problem not.
yeah, like I mean, I'm not having to care about the taxes, so I'm probably gonna be playing more stuff, and I don't want the
Yeah.
don't want her to flip back over
You don't
again.
want her to flip back over because this card will be gone.
Well, yeah, that too.
That's the main reason you don't want to flip her back over. All right.
Yeah. Our purple card is next. Drying vessel, costing 2 requirement 3 power artifact resource. Play to your home. Opponents play with their hands revealed. When this card enters play, choose a card from an opponent's hand and banish it. Card leaves play, put any cards banished this way into their owner's hands.
Oh my god, it's stasis.
Is that a magic card?
I don't know if it's a magic card. It's like it's a very common effect, right?
Sure.
When you banish something under a card, essentially, until it leaves play.
Mhm.
So binoculars, balloonoculars, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, similar, only in purple. Like, I've been thinking lately that it would be nice to have, like, Grover is such an iconic card, you know? It'd be nice to have something like that again. This is kind of that,
This is not really Grover.
isn't it?
It
Look
would
at
be
the
if it
opponent's.
said you start with this card in your hand.
I'm sure, fair enough.
Let the record show Cursed asked for this. I don't know. Like, okay. For one, it's kind of weird to see a pink effect on the purple card, but I guess we've been straying away from colors a lot
Yeah,
lately.
purple's been getting
Uh,
more like hand attack stuff and like hand
Yeah.
visibility and such.
Yeah. But like, Sonambula is a card.
Sure.
Nobody like it, well, not nobody. It has seen play. But like barely any. Balloona Killers is a card.
Hmm.
And those cards had like both of them had like some persistent effect that gave you something. This is a kind of a grubber effect, yeah. But grubber was really strong because you do it turn one. That was the main strength of grubber.
Hmm.
So I don't think this really compares. So I don't know. I'm not really big on this card. And knowing your opponent's hand is nice.
I mean, yes, GP,
You
you can
can,
totally do
but you
it.
have you
Just
have
don't
to start with
always.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you don't even compare starting with like, okay, you need bug ball for this, and you need to have it in your starting hand. That's like not the same at all as pay two at the start of every single game, and I get this. And I also block a problem. That's like not even close. Not even comparable. Unlike Sonambula though, and no, not Sonambula. Balloon Killers was like both of the players, right? Or maybe not. No, all of those were just opponents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which made the argument for Twilight couldn't be a control main because she reveals. I mean, sure, but like, it's a very specific card. I'm not convinced.
I think it's a fine.
But yes, Twilight couldn't be control main for many reasons. Showing all of the information is one of them. There's like also the fact that she kind of wants you to play on the draw, which is not something that control decks like to do. Anyway, Twilight is not even the focus of this card.
Yeah, what do you mean? She's right there.
I knew you would say that. I was waiting.
I have learned a little bit of the memeing. Yeah, I think the card's fine. Like, yeah, maybe not crazy good. And like, to point out to what GP said, right? You know, I wasn't asking for us to have Grubber again because everyone agreed that sucked.
I don't.
But it's a really, as I said, really iconic card, and so it's useful. It's interesting to have what is effectively that, something that makes you be like, oh yeah, like that Grubber card, haha. Kind of like we see cards like effects similar to RTO these days, and we say, oh yeah, just like RTO, haha. um, yeah, and have it be around in a much more restricted manner.
GP, sure. GP is saying that all of those other effects, they don't disrupt the hand, which is fair. Like that, this card is like Grubber in that sense. I think okay. I think it would be cooler if this card also had a continuous effect, but not like the other two cards had a continuous effect. The Somnambula drew you cards, and Balloon Killers gave you a counter or drew you a card. But I think that'll be too strong for a card like this. I think what you do is this card, if you banish something from their hand with this card, if they draw more of that card, it banishes that too. Now, this would really suck if you choose a resource removal. So maybe not, but it would be fun.
It's a cool idea. Huh.
So it's kind of like Harsh Judge, right? But
yeah.
But not. So it would be great against Counter Logic or Pile.
Hmm? Anyway, I think it's a fine card. Can be copied. Yeah. That's
2 ET is not cheap.
It's on the cheap side for resources.
Make it 1 AT and then I'll be fine with it. Grubber was 1 AT.
He was.
And Grubber blocked a problem for 0 points.
We have already covered that I'm not asking for a literal reprint of Grubber here. Anyway, moving on. So next up is the creator card that came out of Ponyville Ciderfest 2024. I blanked on it, but then I saw it written on the bottom of the card there. Anyway. Applejack. Work harder, not smarter. 1.4 power. When this card is uncovered, exhaust all characters here. Opposing characters here don't ready during their controller's ready phase. At the start of a face-off involving this card, exhaust a random character here. Pretty darn good troublemaker.
I think it needs to be 5 power 1 point.
Be a little bit extra protection, you mean?
Yeah. During create a card, there was a choice between 5 power and 2 points and 4 power and 1 point. I think 5 power and 2 points would just be bad.
Yeah, I agree.
So 4 power and 1 is like better, but I think 5 power and 1 is fine. It's fine.
Maybe.
But yeah, you exhaust everything. Opposing characters don't ready, which is great. They can, of course, like send stuff home, ready them there, and then move. Like it's not a continuous exhaust. It kind of is because there's the third ability, but third ability also targets your stuff. So, like if you're sitting behind this troublemaker, you probably don't really sit behind this troublemaker. Confronting, I don't know. It's only at the start of the face-off, so.
Yeah, it's tricky. Like, yeah, the more stuff you put there, the more cover you're giving the opponent, basically. So,
yeah,
that's weird.
And like the second ability has to be there, otherwise the first ability doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
because it uncovers on your turn, and then like their stuff readies anyway.
mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I do like how this came up during the testing game we had. How the logic is reversed from, like, if you see the face down troublemaker, if it was a villain, you'd want to move your main character there because it wouldn't get frightened and be ready to challenge. But if it's this card, you really don't want to move your main character there. I do like how there's now that extra thought to, oh, it's a face down troublemaker. What am I going to do?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. But okay. With it being 4 power, I think Farm just doesn't care. I think Farm can beat a 4 power troublemaker without anything.
Probably.
Which is why this card would be absolutely terrible at 2 points. Like, it's just not.
Sure.
I don't think 2 points is. It's such a huge difference between 1 and 2. And again, and also you don't really play this card against the farm anyway because there's probably epics everywhere. It's really hard to control when your troublemakers will ever see light of day.
Mm-hmm.
Against non-farm though, yeah. So, what kind of decks do you think run this card?
Okay, so the purple magic counter combo is highly tuned and probably doesn't need to even think about it, right? It's not a bad delay card, but I don't know if this is better than anything that's already in there now. Animoy's here; he can say,
yeah,
if that's the case.
I think Sirens is a better delay card every time.
Sure. So that leaves control. Probably. I mean, yeah, aggro's never going to run this, obviously. Well, yeah, that leaves control. Not a terrible control card.
So troublemaker control, or just any control.
Well, okay, sorry, yes. I am still in the mindset where there is no such thing as non-troublemaker control. Yes. Troublemaker control, I suppose. Let's see. My deck run this? I'd at least think about it. I think it's...
Would Pip deck run this? And if yes, instead of what?
I don't know what's in your deck.
Winterzilla, Groggers, Sirens, Easy, and Spartacus.
Okay, well, you're taking out the Winterzilla for Premonition, right?
In the Pip deck, depends. Maybe
Right.
one Winterzilla for one
Well,
Premonition.
as you said, right? You value the troublemaker, so like that would the thought I would make. Oh, you place that and slot in this instead, right? And like,
Well, if you're replacing Winterzillas with Premonition, you created no deck slots.
right, and you run a card with more cards. You know, you just run 52 cards because that's what you
It's
do.
already runs 51 cards.
Yeah, so of course you don't have a problem with running 52.
Oh yeah, you're already running 51. What's one more card?
What's one more card? Absolutely.
Just one more card, bro. I swear, just one more card. It will fix everything. Just one more card.
Right, you said Winterzilla, Grogar, and what?
Winterzilla, Groggar, Sirens, Easy Moonbow, Sporadicus.
All right, yeah, it's not replacing any of those. Those are all in there with very good reasons.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think at 5 power, I would consider it instead of Easy, maybe.
Sure.
Because like, okay, there's 2 copies of Sirens. And I think if I'm removing Easy, I'm adding Sirens. I don't know. It's interesting. It's hard.
Yeah. Like, it's... I don't think this card is bad. I think it's fine. Maybe even good. And I certainly would consider it if I was going to build another Troublemaker control deck.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, I guess think about it. There's been a fair amount of that in this set so far. In this supplement so far, a lot of this seems fine. Nothing that's really blown the socks off, except for those mains. Which I mean, supplements probably. Well, I was gonna say maybe not, but actually, first supplement we had actually had quite a number of blow your socks off cards. Anyway, Sim is gonna have a stream tomorrow where they talk about their design philosophy, so we can make for that. One more card to go.
Yeah.
Our problem. Sunday intervention. 5 wild for everybody. 2 bonus points. And players flip 1 fewer cards during Troublemaker face-offs here. So most of the time, no cards at all. Pretty straightforward.
Is this a farm card?
See, now that's actually interesting, right? Because farm usually does rely on their gigantic flips as their ways to win the face-offs. You would think, text that talks about Troublemaker face-offs automatically a farm card, but yeah, actually, I don't think it is. This might actually be a Troublemaker control card, although it's got a real high bonus for that.
Yeah, well, high bonus, low control, not worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be a farm card in the farm deck that flips a lot of extra cards. Then
Actually, like, I guess aggro kind of likes flipping fewer cards during Troublemaker face-offs. But aggro doesn't, like, put in specific problems for specific situations, really. Not unless it's a starting problem.
Lacking lesson plans was a specific problem for specific situation.
But it was a starting problem.
Sure. Do you think this should be a starting problem? No, you don't want a 2 bonus 5.
Oh, I mean, yeah, sorry, not at this stat line. Yeah.
uh,
I think the text might be interesting on a starting problem, but not at this stat line, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe aggro runs this.
Yeah, I think Prism Light. If there's a tie, it's the same
you
thing.
Flip again.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose they would flip. Yeah, I guess that's right.
Yeah, if there's a tie, you just flip.
Yeah.
And if there's a tie and there's nothing to flip, then everybody
then
loses.
It's a tie. Yeah. Well then, yeah, face off ends, and we do the usual face off ends, but nobody won thing.
Yeah. Which is good for Troublemaker face off.
It is.
Because winning a Troublemaker face off as a defender does not do anything.
Most of the time, it does not. Unless you have a card involved, like on your side, that's not the Troublemaker, then sometimes. Diligent Spike could do that, right?
Nah, remember?
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about decks that might want this. I talked myself out of farm and control and aggro. Doesn't leave
I think
much.
aggro against control could use this. Because then because control rarely has flip stuff.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what you're going into, and you can. It's at that point, it's kind of like confronting a problem.
Yeah.
Do you have enough power, or do you not have enough power?
Yeah, and the stat line is really good for aggro decks. So yeah, 5 confront 2 bonus. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess it's an aggro problem. Huh.
But I think that's it. I think no other deck runs it.
Probably not. All right. Well, that's Prize Wheel 4. So far.
Yeah,
Changes still incoming.
yeah.
Overall, interesting designs. Like, a lot of them are pretty straightforward. Even the complicated ones are pretty, like, not a whole. Well, okay. There's a lot of text on Two Terrible Twos, but a lot of it was reminder text and clarification. Like, what the card actually does, just copy one of your triggers, right? It's pretty straightforward what the card actually does. Um,
Yeah.
Fairly elegantly designed supplement.
Yeah. We'll see how it shakes things up.
Yeah, we'll see.
How do you think it will shake things up?
Well, so the mains
Will
are
this be the saving grace for aggro?
I mean, that's a bold call to make because Control is doing really good right now. But never.
Look, Control is doing really good. This is why Ciderfest was won by Farm. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It was won by mid-range.
Sure.
But it was a three-way tie between a combo, a mid-range, and a Farm.
I mean,
No Control?
I think yes. I think there's gonna be a lot more aggro in the meta. Yes.
Okay.
Just yeah,
Will it be yellow aggro, blue aggro, some other kind of aggro?
I mean, probably a bit of both. I think the blue aggro is probably a little bit better positioned because blue's got a lot of other stuff that's great in like new generation and such.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of assets there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I can definitely see a Hot Wings kind of deck, right? That just it's very fast and runs disruption through Frighten, and Shining gives a blue main that you can just use. Unlike what other blue mains do we have? Misty. Well, I guess Misty you can also just use, but Misty is not fast by herself. She's point acceleration, but that's it.
Yeah.
Shining is trying to be fast at least. Although I don't know. I don't know if you use Shining without Swift Agile. I guess you just use him for Swift most of the time, just to pay one to move.
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes you get Agile as well.
It depends. Yeah, like that was the thing that I found playing that deck. Like there's, and my aggro brain isn't as well developed as some, but it felt like there was so many possible lines to take through each given turn. Oof.
So yeah, so that's something that has been like Shining fills the thing that was missing in blue a little bit. We'll just have to see if it's enough.
Sure. Alrighty. Well, that is all the cards in Prize Wheel 4.
Yay!
Took us only hour and a half. Not a bad stream time.
Yay!
Yeah, as I mentioned, Sim's got their own stream going on tomorrow. That'll delve a little bit more into philosophy and design. Otherwise, we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, and what will realistically probably be it'll be December 14th, and then I'm thinking about December 28th. We'll play that one by ear. We'll see.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if next stream is our only stream in December. I guess is what I'm saying. But that's not a hard and fast announcement.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that wraps me up.
I just want to quickly add that I rate the surprise well, no Trixie out of 10, and it's entirely my fault.
Was there a Trixie possibility on the creator card?
No. But if I was not slow with my Continental surprise, this set could have had the Trixie.
Ah, I see what you mean. Okay. Fair enough.
And I'm being a little bit grilled for being slow, which is absolutely fair.
Fair enough. All right. Well, otherwise, thank you everybody for coming out and being in our chat and sharing your thoughts. Until next time, I have been Cursor Courts.
I have been Hifrock.
And we will see you in December.
Bye.